Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 149 of the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. And as you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm starting to get a little emotional, bud. You know, I mean, this is the penultimate episode now.
Yeah.
Only one more episode after this, and I'm starting to get emotional.
You're doing a little Robbie words there.
Yeah, right?
That's pretty cool. As you guys can see, we're back at the coffee desk or whatnot. There's some changes because actually you guys can't see it, but I've actually ripped this thing apart. It's missing half the front end. It's below the camera, and I've used the wood to build in the van and stuff like that. And we just kind of threw some things on the wall and on the front here to kind of spruce it up a little bit, but it really, over the last few weeks, it's been pretty bare. But we tried to make it look similar to what it was before.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have the little coffee display right here, the little sign. It's up in the bus and stuff like that. But
So you see a lot more of our fat.
yeah, so the bellies, that was the whole thing, that why they were there. They weren't there to say the name of the show.
No.
It's like, dude, we need to cover that shit up.
That's right, man.
So
Eternally grateful.
yeah, those are the little inside things that we do. But yeah, we're here because this is actually the last time we're going to be at this desk. After today, I'm actually destroying it. I'm going to take it apart this weekend and get rid of the wood and stuff like that. And then for episode 150, we're going to be at our original table where we were at on the very first time that Bob joined me on the show. And kind of how it started, that's how it's going to end. So should be a lot of fun. We'll have the old Spider-Man poster behind us, and how you were introduced to Bob, and he kind of fumbled. I watched it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I Bob. he was really. Go back and watch it. I'll put it up there. It's really. He's like, oh my god, here we go. But he's done great. 100 episodes later. Awesome, man. So anyway, we got a really good show today.
Yeah.
We're going to do a Q&A. This is our last Q&A we're doing. There's all the questions that you guys have asked us. These are all the questions up to date to where Saturday morning is when we're filming this. So every question asked between when the video came out and Saturday morning, that's what we have. So if you put a response after that, it's probably not going to be on the video just because we're filming the video right now.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the coffee that we're drinking today, because that's what we always do. We got Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. You got the coffee today, and I said, Bob, go ahead and pick.
I did.
So what am I drinking?
You have got a quad shot Americano with sugar-free, not sugar-free, but vanilla sweetener.
Yeah.
Brewed with cinnamon.
Yeah.
And with some cream.
A little bit of everything. Huh?
A little bit of everything.
It says my name on here, Travie.
It does.
That's Stacia wrote
Stacia
that.
wrote that.
Okay, let me take a little sip. It's no Bueller, but it's not bad.
It's not bad,
Is
right?
this what you drink?
This is what I drink.
This is the crap that you get?
This is the crap that I get.
So what are you drinking?
It's the same thing, except there's no cream.
Yeah.
And it's got sugar-free vanilla sweetener in it, but it's basically the same thing.
It needs some going to the ball action to it.
Going to the ball.
You put some going to the ball in here.
little whipped cream on top.
Yeah. And we got a winner.
I almost did that for you, buddy.
Yeah?
Almost did that for you, but I figure, we'll just keep it low-key today.
Okay. All right. It's not bad. It's not bad. Next week I'll treat y'all. Do you give me permission to buy
I give you permission.
Nice. I'll get you something real nasty.
There we go.
Should be a lot of fun.
Here we go.
Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of the show today. It's kind of a condensed show because there's so many questions we have to read. There's close to 100 questions, and we're going to read every one of them. So, quick rundown. We'll start off with announcements and thank yous. We'll do our first 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. We have our Q&A, like I just said, brought to you by Black Box Comics. We'll do our final 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. So we're getting rid of the random thoughts and was it good. But then we'll do a wrap up and we'll announce the winner of the weekly Comics on Coffee blend. We'll let you know who won that, and then you can enter for next week's as well. So and win another bag of coffee. So that's kind of the show. It's a quick condensed show. And you know what? Let me put my card. We'll get right into it. Announcements and thank yous. I just want to say thank you to all our Patreon members. You guys help keep the show going. If you want to join our Patreon, it's $3.99 a month. The price of one comic book a month. Or a Spawn comic and an extra $1 for a donut or something.
There you go, right? Keeps a Spawn comic and a donut.
There you go. Keeps the lights going, keeps the wheels rolling, and keeps all this goodness flowing.
There you go.
That's a lot better than your stomach.
Yep.
But thank you to all our Patreon members. Appreciate it. And if you want to join it, like I said, feel free to do so. Also want to say thank you to all the people who have done Super Chats for the show when we do the premieres. Super Chats don't work on the other shows, but we do the premiere on this one. So if you want to do a Super Chat, you're more than welcome. And just I want to say thank you to the people in the chat right now who are joining us in the premiere. We always say hello to everyone. If you haven't said hello and you're one of the 100, 150 people watching, hello. You know, how you doing? So say hello. Let's see. I want to say thank you. I've talked about this before. I have a list on my Amazon for stuff I need for the van and stuff I'm going to be traveling. And I just received this week. This is a voice recorder. And it just said a gift, thank you. It didn't have a name on it, so I just want to say thank you. It was an anonymous gift from my list that I needed. It's a portable voice recorder I can use to do interviews and stuff like that.
Nice.
This is awesome. I've been wanting one of these for a while. So thank you so much. I've already been playing around with it. Works awesome. So awesome. If you want to check out that list, it's on, there's a link down below. I'm not going to have the list for very much longer just because I won't really have a physical address for you to send the stuff to. So, but if you want to check it out, you can. There's a bunch of stuff on there. I keep adding to it because people give me ideas. Oh, you should put this on there. Okay, I'll put it on there. So
Yeah.
I just kind of do that. I also want to say there's a brand new, speaking of comics on coffee, they got a brand new blend. It's that Star Killer K-Pods from Scout. They teamed up with Star Killer Comics, the one from Scout Comics.
Scout Comics, yeah.
So you can buy the K-Pods, and they got the artwork on the thing, the Star Killer one, and you get a digital copy of the book and bonus content. And they're selling extremely fast.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to buy this week because I love Irish cream.
Yeah.
And it's Irish cream flavored. Can't wait to get mine.
If you go to order it and they're out of stock right now, just wait a day or so because they are selling quite fast. They were telling me they spent the whole time packing them up and everything. So, but anyway, Star Killer, get the digital comic. You get the Star Killer coffee blend. Looks really awesome. So they're sending me one, so I got
Awesome.
I got to at least test it out.
You have to.
So, so check that out. It looks pretty cool. Okay, another last thing before we get going. This coming Friday and Saturday, Bob is joining me on my channel, and Bob is having an auction. He's selling a bunch of his books. He's going to be showing a few of them on the First and Final Five. He's probably going to be doing a video this week on his channel showing some of the books he's going to be selling. But he's selling a nice portion of his collection. As you guys might know, he's the one buying my house, and he needs a little extra money
I do.
to make sure the lights are coming on, or whatnot. So he's decided to sell his some of his collection, slabs, old books, new books, all that good stuff.
Ton of Silver Age, ton of Spawn.
Yeah, you guys have seen his books throughout, the First and Final Fives and his videos. That's what you're going to be getting, some of that stuff right there. So Friday and Saturday at 5:30.
5:30.
And we'll probably go for a few hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Yep.
And depending how it does, we might do it the following weekend as well if he's still up for it,
Absolutely. I'd appreciate it. But, I'm really trying to get this place built up for Mrs. Bullseye.
Yeah.
And this will be the first time that we'll actually be in our own home in the 11 years of marriage that
she's extremely demanding.
No, she's not.
She is. I'm like, she goes, Travis.
She does not. She does not. But truth be told, walls like this need to be repainted so that it's conducive.
No, they don't.
So it's conducive
for
her to decorate the way she wants to. And so I'm getting stuff fixed up. And
I have more paint. Just keep on going, man.
There you go.
You guys don't know, but it's literally just painted for this section of the house.
Right.
And then there's another wall next to it that's another color. And then there's a big black wall in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That was painted just for a video. Sorry. So the house is literally like 5 different colors.
Yeah.
But I would just go with this one.
There you go. So anyway, I need you guys' help. And I'm going to put a bunch of stuff on sale, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with Bob and hanging out with you guys. So please join us Friday and Saturday night. Bring your wallets, I guess, and feel free to buy some of Bob's books. And he's going to do his best to get them shipped out to you pretty quickly. And
really quickly, yeah.
And so there you go. And also, I just want to say I had a little mini auction this past weekend. All the books are shipping out today. There's only about 10 or 15 lots, so it's really easy. They're already packed, they're already ready to go. So you should see those probably within a couple days. So thank you so much for all the people who were at my little mini auction. Okay, Bob, let's go ahead and get started with our first 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. Go to their website, enter code Bueller, Save 10%. Like I said before, they now have back issues on there. So get some older books as well. Bob, you want to go first?
Sure thing. So I brought some of the Alex Ross Timeless variants, mostly the X-Men covers. So here's Wolverine. And then we have Storm. I just love these covers.
Very cool.
Nightcrawler. And then we have Iceman. And we got the Beast, which I just absolutely love. I got most of the Timeless variants. Those are some of the books I'm going to be selling at the auction as well. And a smattering of other stuff. So there's my first 5.
Very cool. You know, Alex Ross doesn't do a lot of interviews. Mm-hmm. He really doesn't. If you try to type in Alex Ross and look for an interview, besides like a news station or whatnot, he doesn't. One of my goals is to try to get Alex Ross eventually for an interview.
That'd be awesome.
With my connections through Dynamite and the fact that they reached out to me last year because of their one book that they put out, I might be able to make it happen if I pull my van right down into the south. We'll have to find out. So you never know.
Make it as simple as possible. You just gotta hop in and hop out.
Yeah, maybe throw in the fact, hey, we're both from Portland, so maybe, throw that at them. So maybe someday I would love to have them on there.
Absolutely, that'd be really cool.
Awesome. I got my first 5 right here.
Let's see what you got.
All the same book.
Wow.
And these were sent to me just recently by, actually we just got them yesterday, and by our buddy Paul Gomez, who did the PTSD book. I believe this is his second book out right now.
Oh, nice.
And this is called Bushy Boo Circus Mysteries.
That's right.
And these are some great covers. And I gave one to Bob. I gave the one I didn't like. I just gave that one. Not that I didn't like it. It's the one I didn't like. Well, I didn't want to say that.
Thanks, pal.
I didn't want it.
There you go.
These are the ones I wanted. So obviously you can see this one right there. It has the Star Wars homage to it. I like that one. Here is another Bushy Boo Circus Mysteries. These are, like I said, these are all, I believe, the same issue, just different variants and stuff like that. So I'll show you all 5 of these. 3. Here's another nice one right here. 4. And this is probably my favorite one because it looks like Kanto, and I love Kanto. And that one right there.
Oh, second to last episode.
Gosh dang it.
And it happened.
You know, look at these. They flare out. You see how they flare out?
You can put out whatever excuse you want,
They
buddy.
They flare out.
Yeah.
Damn it. Somebody even made a comment about that earlier.
Did you?
That was not done on purpose. Anyway.
You had nothing to do with your big ass thumbs, right?
That sucks. That sucks. Anyway.
There we go.
All right, let's move on.
It all comes around, people.
Yeah,
It all comes around.
So that's our first 5. You're loving it right now.
I am.
Yeah. That's our first 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. Go to the website, birdcitycomics.com. Enter code Bueller, save 10%.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to our Q&A.
Yeah.
And we have all the questions, and our Q&A is brought to you by our topic sponsor, which is blackboxcomics.net. Go to their website, enter code Bueller10, save 10%. They got Shinokagi. They got Devil's Dominion on there.
Wilder,
that's the new one that's coming out. Damien bought a bunch of their books. He said he really enjoyed them. So that's pretty cool. So if your comic shop doesn't carry Black Box Comics, ask them to pick some up. They got some new titles coming out this year. Try them out. They're in the previews magazine, so there you go.
very cool.
All right, Bob, I'm up first. We're doing a page at a time. And like I said, there's about 100 questions, and if you left a question on there, we have it right here. And we're going to do our best to answer all these lovely questions. And if I pronounce your name wrong, congratulations. The first one is from Robbie Kilpatrick. Says, what Marvel character do you want to see make his or her MCU appearance?
Very good question.
Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, we've already gotten Daredevil, which was the one I wanted to see the most. I can't wait to see Blade now. Blade and Moon Knight are the 2 that I'm waiting for the most.
Blade had 3 movies already.
Yeah, but that's not the MCU.
Yeah, it was. It was the start of it.
Okay, whatever.
The multiverse.
The multiverse.
Yeah, Doctor Strange multiverse.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Mahershala Ali, man, he's gonna kill it.
What was wrong with Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes was fine. Mahershala Ali's gonna kill it though.
So did Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
It's time we got a new Blade.
Okay. I'm looking forward to the Jackal.
The Jackal.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You know who the Jackal is?
Yeah.
He's the guy who hired Punisher to kill Spider-Man. I just make stuff up.
Well, why not? I would have thought you would have said the Punisher, because they're talking about Bernthal coming in as...
He's already in the MCU now. If Daredevil, if your dude Daredevil's in the Spider-Man movie, which is considered part of the thing, then that automatically makes the Punisher guy part of the MCU, because it's canon now.
They didn't say that.
Well, I said it.
Okay.
How could it not be?
It's just
they're just going to disregard the whole second season of the Daredevil?
They're going to disregard whatever they want to.
You know what?
What?
That's just the first damn question.
There you go.
Next one is from Two Gun Pedro. Daredevil question. Who would you like Daredevil to team up with and fight one-on-one with in the DC universe that hasn't happened yet?
For me, I'd love to see him go up against Deathstroke. I think that would be absolutely awesome. There's other characters I could go with, but I think that would be one of the ones to be my favorite. You got guy with no eyes and guy with one eye.
I like that he put hasn't happened yet. None of them happened yet.
Not really.
Because it's the DC universe.
That's right.
I'm going to go with Codpiece. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
Can you imagine Daredevil like using his little sonar? What's that?
I would have pegged that more for Peacemaker, but you know.
No. Daredevil Codpiece. Swinging on that thing. Whoosh.
All right, I'm done.
All right,
the show's already done.
All right, next one. Frank Grimes. How come you guys have not talked about TMNT, The Last Ronin, at all? Honestly, I'm not really into the TMNT books. I was way more into the cartoon. And I think I've said that before. And I think I've showed the TMNT Last Ronin books a few times, but they weren't constant. They kept on being delayed.
Yeah.
So even though I picked up the first one, I think I had a couple copies of the first one, I ended up getting rid of them because it's like one came out, then it's like the second one was supposed to come out, and it didn't, finally did, and the third one was supposed to, and it didn't. So just, the inconsistency kind of turned me off of that series. And, not to mention, they were a half-inch bigger than the regular comic books, and they didn't fit in the goddamn bags.
Yeah, that was kind of that was a sore spot for me. I used to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day when they were first coming out. Absolutely loved them. I loved that Eastman and Laird were huge Daredevil fans, and they based a lot of stuff inside of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles off of Daredevil. And so I absolutely loved that comic. But as I got back into comics, I just never veered back into the Turtles.
Yeah.
It just didn't. It didn't grab me.
Yeah.
And I tried The Last Ronin, and I thought the first book was good, but as soon as they started with all the delays, I just let it go.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next one's from Mick Mo. He said, "Hi, fellas. I love reconnecting with the hobby and the company of you two favorite YouTubers, but which of you is the biggest Portland hipster?"
This guy.
Yeah, he's probably right, actually.
I don't have a motorized bike. He has one.
He's not hip at all.
I'm not.
Yeah. He's a total square.
There you go.
Anyway, that's a good question.
It is.
Next one is from Brett Sullivan. He says, Image Comics making more Spawn comics. Obviously, yeah, they are. They've grown the Spawn. They're done. I don't think there's any more coming out. I think it was the Scorched was the latest one. King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and then the regular Spawn. So we got 4 titles. Once they're all settled down, after all these premieres, we should be getting a Spawn book every week.
Right.
Like Spawn week 1, King Spawn week 2, Gunslinger Spawn week 3, and week 4 is the Scorched. And they'll all tie in together. So that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and so far it looks like the experiment's working.
Yes.
And based upon that, I can't see him not, expanding that universe out. Yeah. Probably get a Redeemer book.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and a few others. And so I'm really enjoying them.
And they're all $2.99 cover price after the first issue. They got like 2 variants for each that are non-incentive variants. So pick them all up. Support Todd McFarlane in this venture because he's really trying to prove to the other companies that, hey, you can sell a book for $2.99 and still make money.
Make money.
I want to support that, and I keep telling people that all the time. Make Spawn the #1 book in America or the world. So, all right, next one is from Sal A. Spano. He says, when you guys do these haul videos, you actually read the comic books you haul. I make it a point to read every single book in my collection. Just curious if I am in the minority on this. Thank you all for the great content. I don't read them all. I just don't. I never really have read all my books. Mm-hmm. I do know people who have, and our good buddy Sam, who passed away, read every book. So if he went and he bought 30 books out of the 50-cent bin, guess what he was doing that weekend? He was reading all those books.
He was reading them all.
And he was just an encyclopedia of knowledge. So, I mean, I think you are in the minority for a person who reads all their books, but you're not the only person who does. There are some people out there. And Sam had so much knowledge, he'd out-knowledge us under the table. And we had not even close.
Yeah, so absolutely.
You don't read them all, do you?
No, I mean, I try to get to them. You know, a lot of the stuff on my halls, besides like the Silver Age stuff and older stuff, is usually cover grabs, and that's usually more modern stuff. And that stuff I've read because it's been on my pull list. But when it comes to like a lot of the Silver Age stuff, reading, you know, being a Wednesday warrior and reading comics every week, you know, that usually takes up most of my reading time. And but I also have Marvel Unlimited, and so a lot of those old Silver Age stuff that I never got to read when I was a kid, I'm slowly chipping away at that, because I just love, you know, those old comics. I just don't have enough time to read them all, but you know, eventually I will get to them.
Next one is from James Davis. Says, if you could make an X-Men team of 7 people, who would you put on the team and why? James, we actually did a video on this on his channel called Battle Draft, and we did a different teams, and X-Men was one of them.
X-Men was one of them.
And, you know, I'll find a link to that. I'll put it down below so you can check it out. It was me and you, I think Robbie,
Dylan.
Dylan, the Hero and the Kid was on
Hero
there.
And the Kid.
It's a different name now or whatnot. But it was a lot of fun, and we literally had a ton of fun doing it.
Yeah,
so,
and we show you exactly all the characters we pick on the team and why.
Yeah, and my answer's a little bit weird.
His answers were always obscure and funny and great, so check it out just for that.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard was the leader of my X-Men team. And like it had Howard the Duck, Rocket Raccoon, and Puck were like all the 3 little guys, and I think the Rat from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was on there, and Galactus.
It was an eclectic team, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun. So check it out. It's a good video. Next one is from Dan Groan-Seth, I believe. Wonder how often should you rebag and board your comic collection? I'll ask you that, Bob.
That is a really good question. I mean, you know, it's tough because it depends on the quality of your bags and boards. I know that some of the bags, you know, are cheaper quality.
Yeah.
And if you put them on a book that was made from the 80s or before, you'll see it start to ripple, and that always bothers the heck out of me. So I'd rather buy a higher quality bag so I don't have to rebag them as often. I don't like them yellowing either. And so
you
for
don't
me,
see that as much anymore because they don't use that plastic anymore.
Not as much. But so far, I've been collecting for almost 3 years now. I haven't rebagged them, had to rebag and board anything. I probably would say my mark would be in between the 7 to 10 year mark.
Yeah.
If they started to look shabby, if they're not looking shabby, then I'm leaving them.
Yeah, it just depends on what bags you use. The Mylar bag's supposed to last forever.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I myself just rebagged and boarded my whole collection. What I had left from after I sold off my collection, because I was like, if I ever going to do it, now's the time I'm going to do it, because I didn't have that many books. So I went and bought a whole bunch of supplies, rebagged and boarded all my books, so they're all exactly the same, and I'm sticking with it from now. That's the first time I've ever done that, to be honest, because it's always been a mishmash of silver boards, regular boards, different bags or whatnot.
Right.
So you know what? I would just watch. If they start looking ratty, then change them. You know, because I think you're going to get different responses. I mean, there probably is a set time when they tell you to, but it's just like best before date. It's not really set in stone. So I've seen books that have been in bags for 30 years.
Yeah, and they look fine.
Yeah. So next one here. From Papa Ken, he says, Bob and Travis, that's me, I'm Bueller Travis. If you were a comic book writer and could write any series from any company for at least 100 issues, what would you write, and would you kill them off when you were finished?
That's a good question. I mean, I'd have to think about that, but it probably wouldn't be a character that we know.
Yeah.
The Kanto is set in the world of Arcana. And they've kind of built out that world, and I think I would go to David M. Bueller and Drew Zucker and ask them about the Arcana world and what part of it I may be able to have to write a character. And I go for 100 issues inside of that and help build out that world more. That would excite the heck out of me. Yeah. But to take a character that's already known, that would be hard to build upon something that's already been built upon for years. And I don't know if I could add anything more to that, Yeah. So taking something that's a fresh concept or idea, I think that would excite me more. And yeah, I'd go for 100 issues on that.
Yeah, I would probably do like something like The Walking Dead.
That would be.
And I think that would be, and I'd kill them all off at the end. But like I do, it's full circle. Like it literally starts off with the zombie infection, goes through the thing, and like about like the halfway mark of the series, they start turning the corner and get back to regular life,
Mm-hmm.
And by the last issue, pretty much they're good. They've come full circle and things are back to normal, and then like a meteor hits.
Right.
It's like, damn it, and the world explodes and whatnot.
Yeah, we survived it. Oh,
yeah. Like, what is that? So I mean, that's what I would do. This next one is from Joseph Dene. I don't know. Would like to see you in Boise, Idaho. We have 3 main comic shops. All are awesome. Definitely going through Boise. It's on my way through. My first trip was going to New Mexico, so I go through Boise, go down through Utah, through a little bit of Colorado, then to Albuquerque. So I'll definitely go through Boise pretty soon. So
if you're gonna go through Utah, you can see our good friend Eric Strobel.
I am. Hopefully the weather's good. That's the thing about the weather. I might have to go different routes depending on going over the pass and stuff, or the mountains, because that's in March and the weather can still be pretty hairy around then. But if not, I'll have to go through the desert, so I'll go through like Vegas and stuff like that, which isn't bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Let's see. Next one is from Linford Smith. It says, "What are some of the big keys for the show I've been watching for the last 2 months? So I'm a relatively new viewer. So what are some of the big keys last few months?"
Big key comics?
Yeah. Anything special that you could think of?
Nothing that hops out to me. I mean, nothing. I can't remember anything that's really popping right now. But I haven't had my finger on the pulse for a little bit. Because I've had my mind on so many different things. I know Stray Dogs popped pretty big, recently.
People like those dogs.
Oh yeah, they did.
People like the animal books right now, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing.
I know Mini Desoleto Star was popular there for a bit. I don't know if you call that a key or that's popping. But one of the keys that's really been popping is the first appearance of Echo inside of Daredevil.
Yeah.
I'll actually be selling that book on my channel. But yeah, that's one that's definitely starting to pop because they showed her inside of the Hawkeye series. She's getting her own series coming up. We saw Daredevil come into play and Kingpin. So her book is popping right now, and so that's all you can think of right now.
Nice.
And you think of anything?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
What's popping, man?
Everything is popping. I guess there was a new Thor character, Lightning Lady.
Lightning Lady? there's
I don't know.
I heard there's a new Black Hulk, right?
Yeah.
That everybody's starting to buzz about, I guess.
Yep. I don't know.
There you go. That's how much we know, guys.
That's not good. Okay. Let's see. Next one is from Jared Grimes. There's a few questions here. He says, Bueller, have you had an invitation to come visit from stores across the country? A little bit of yes, a little bit of no. I think once the word gets out a little bit more, then I'm pretty sure I don't think I'd want to be the comic shop that said, no, you can't come here. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm pretty sure the door is going to be pretty much wide open because I'm going to, in a positive way. I'm not going there to make them feel bad.
Sure.
I'm going there to highlight their shop and what they do special and what they bring to the comic community. So I'm pretty sure for the most part it's going to be a good reception. So
yeah.
At least I hope so.
Yeah. No, there's that one comic shop out there that's like all YouTubers come except for that one guy Bueller.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. He says, do I have a route planned? Not really, but I'll get into that a little bit more as we get into this because a few other questions are like that. Mm-hmm. Are you going to be posting your route or schedule of stores you're going to visit? Yes and no. I'll put it to you that way, and I'll get into that a little bit more as well. How can your adoring fans find out when you're coming to a town near them? Now, one thing I will be doing, if I know where I'm going, I will let you know, like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. And the thing is, if I get to Austin, and if I want to hang out for a couple days, I probably will. It won't just be like a drive-by. I'm in no hurry. So I'll stay for a few days or something like that. So I'll try to do my best to, if I'm around a comic shop, I will let you know, say, hey, I'm by this comic shop wherever. And if you're around here, let me know and hit me up. But look on my community tab. I'm going to be using that quite a bit. And my Instagram, which is at Comics with Bueller. I'll be using that quite a bit as well. And that's probably the best way to keep track of where I'm going to be. So should be interesting because I've debated how much I want to divulge, like where I'm at.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a catch-22. It's like, you know,
it's kind of sketchy in some parts, you know. It's like
maybe I don't want everyone to know where I'm at every single day, but I get it. So
yeah.
But that being said, my daughter and Sarah, my nephew's wife, will know where I'm at all times. So they'll have that tracking thing or what the Apple, whatever it is.
Yeah. So don't message me and ask me where he's at because I'm not going to know at all times.
Yeah. So I think like Sarah. She's a sweetheart. I think she legitimately is like concerned. I just want to know where you're at and make sure everything's okay. I'm like, great. I want someone too. My daughter, I think there's a little bit of that, but there's also the fact she wants to know that I'm not like down the street from her house and gonna pop by.
Right.
So she wants to know. Oh, okay, good. He's in New York. I'm good.
There you go.
So there's a little bit of that. I know that she won't admit to it, but I'm pretty sure there is a little bit of that. I get it.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, crap, he's a half hour away. The next one is from Jean-Claude Van Tom. There's a few from him. First one is, Bob, when it comes to your channel, what are one of your goals for your channel to achieve this year, 2022?
Yeah, so there's a couple of new ventures that I'm testing out on the channel. One of them is my journey through coloring. I have a number of superhero adult coloring books. I've showcased some of my work. I've messed around with the camera, and I think I've got...
When you say adult, are you talking like adult?
No.
Because that can be a little confusing when you name it that way.
Well, what differentiate when you go to like a grocery store and you buy coloring books, and they're normally for kids, they're on very crappy paper, like, you know, and they bleed through and all that type of stuff. And adult coloring books are on high quality paper. They're usually higher res images. And so that's what differentiates it. Nothing other than that. And so I got a number of those. I pretty much have every Marvel book. I pretty much have every DC one, and then I got a Spawn one.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to showcase how I go through the process of coloring one of these pages. You know, I'm not going to say I'm a great artist or anything like that, but I got pretty good at it. And so there's been a number of people who want to see my process, and so I'm going to be showing that off. The other thing is you guys know I'm very heavily into Kung Fu movies. And I do on my Instagram page, if you've noticed, I do a Kung Fu Friday. Every Friday I post a review about one of my favorite Kung Fu movies. Well, I'm going to be doing Kung Fu movie reviews on the channel. And how does that relate to comic books? Well, Kung Fu movies heavily influence my comic book reading. And I'll explain that on more on the channel. But I'm going to be doing that. And then, you know, more haul videos and showing off my collecting. My collecting has changed over the last year. I've stopped doing a lot of the Wednesday Warrior stuff. That stuff has been, you know, whittled way down. And I'm doing more of going to comic shops looking for Silver Age stuff and, you know, anything else that I can find. And I'll show those off in my haul videos, and you can see how my collecting has changed. And so those are the things that are changing on my channel, and that's kind of my goals for this year.
Nice.
I don't have any set goals as far as, you know, viewers or anything like that. I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to your adult material.
Thank you.
Skated by that one, didn't we? Anyway, and the next one is also from Jean-Claude Van Tom. It said it's pretty much the same question. Bueller, when it comes to your channel, what do you know now? Oh, it's a little different. Sorry. When it comes to your channel, what do you know now that you wish you knew then when you first started doing this? I think you know, it's a good question because I mean, I do know more stuff than I did when I started, but I think it all comes down to just enjoying yourself. I mean, it sounds dumb or whatnot, but it just really is. I mean, just don't take yourself too seriously. And I know a lot of people do, and they really, just kind of like they look at the numbers every day, and they're constantly doing that and worried about that stuff. And sure, I look at stuff every now and then, but just enjoy it. And I think in the beginning, I was doing that more, and just like, oh, what's the goal today, or what's the stuff today, or how close am I going to get to that 1,000 subscribers? And I was constantly looking at that stuff, and now I don't even look at it. I don't even pay attention. What I look at now are just like the comments and stuff, and I'm like, if a video does good, it does good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. I'll just make another video. It's not a problem. So, I what I'm aware of now is more so like, hey, I have people relying on me, as far as like sponsors and stuff like that. I want to make sure they're taken care of. I want to make sure that my viewers are taken care of as well, and it benefits them. And I'm probably more aware of that than I ever have been before. So that's kind of it. So
awesome.
Yeah. All right, that's the first page. You are up.
All right. This one also comes from Jean-Claude Van Tom. He says, what books have you guys read recently that have been kind of a disappointment? Hulk. Venom. Yeah. For me, it was I can't think of the name of it. It was supposed to be John Wick's dog.
Oh, yeah.
Good Boy.
Yeah, Good Boy.
Yeah.
Good Boy.
Okay, Good Boy. I was really highly anticipating that book.
Yeah.
I thought the premise was great, and it just didn't pan out for me. So that was a huge disappointment. That's the one that comes to mind the most.
Yeah. Like I said, Hulk, not really doing it for me. Venom didn't grab me again, didn't want me to get it back on it and stuff. I will say really quick, and I was just talking to Bob about this. Donny Cates has this crossover book coming out this week. I've talked about that book for a long time. I've been on it. I've been telling people, hey, issue 12 is going to be like the main book to get for some time. Issue 11, kind of the same thing. I've already read 11. I've already looked at it. He made a comment on his Instagram saying, hey, there might be a bunch of spoilers. Try to avoid them because it is a big, huge issue. It is. It's a major issue. There's a moment in the book, a few of them in the book, and you're definitely going to want to pick it up. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you because Donnie would kick my ass. Or he'd try.
He'd try.
But anyway, it's awesome. And so pick it up. I've been a fan of the crossover series for a while now. It's definitely a great book. It'll surprise you when you see what's going on in this. So Wednesday, pick it up, and then make sure you get issue 12 because that's going to be a big one as well. So
absolutely.
And I've been telling you guys for like over a year, issue 12 is the one to get. I might have been off by one issue, but I think issue 12 is still going to be the one to get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Anyway.
All right, so the next one also comes from Jean-Claude Van Tom. Great questions, guys. He says, Bob, what will you miss most when Bueller is gone? Here we go. I'll tell you what. Getting together with this guy week over week has been one of the highlights of my life, and just his presence. I mean, we have great times. We mess with each other, and it's always been fun. And so just knowing that I won't be able to give him a call up and go just hang out, just even at Mocha Express, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. I mean, there's another part of that question. It's for what will you miss most when you're gone, and that's directed to me. That's the next one. It's the same thing. He's a great friend of mine. I've built such a great relationship with the people here locally that have stuff in common, and like comic books, and not just a little something in common. Like the major part of our life has something in common, and to meet Bob or Sam or Damien or John or all these guys that are part of our local family here is just it's awesome just to sit around and talk and enjoy and just talk about what's going on in each other's lives.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that, but I'm also looking forward to meeting more people.
Yeah.
And sharing these conversations with them as well. Because any comic fan always has something in common with another. And it's very easy I mean, I can't think of any conversation I've ever had with a fellow comic collector that I couldn't just sit there and talk for hours.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice thing to do, and so I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I have a ton of memories with Bob and with the other guys around here. And a lot of nice things is I have them on video, and I can watch anytime. It's like our buddy Sam who passed away. It's a lot easier for me to just go and watch some of the videos we did.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel a little bit better and smile and remember the good times. Even though he's not here, you have that treasure trove of content that I can go to. I have that treasure trove of content to go to Bob and see, the times we're laughing, the times we got pissed and everything. But just having my co-host sitting next to me, we're going to do stuff going forward, but we're not going to be sitting next to each other. And there is a huge difference.
There's a huge difference
when we're not sitting next to it. But we're still going to do it, and we're still going to do it the best we can.
Yeah.
But sitting next to him and the aura. Anyway, you guys get the picture. So, but we're men.
We're men.
We'll be all right. All right.
All right, man. Next one comes from Patrick Melagrano. He says, curious your thoughts on the cameo versus first appearance debate. What do you think constitutes a first appearance? Are we going to do this again?
I'll do it really quick. Okay. I looked this up because we've done shows on this. Cameo means, the actual definition of a cameo means a brief appearance of a well-established character, okay? So the cameo appearance in comic books actually doesn't fit the definition. Because when they say cameo, they're referring to the first time you ever see a character, like in the background or whatnot. Well, it's not a well-established character then, because it's the very first time. So the definition doesn't make any sense. My personal feeling on a first appearance, if you get a full view of the character, and the character has a line in the book, like "Hello" or "I'm Wolverine." Mm-hmm. So yes, so 180 is the first, to me, is the first appearance of Wolverine. Full vision, you see the whole character, full splash out. He says something. To me, that is the first appearance of a character.
And I've gone over this 1,000 times. Really, guys, don't get hung up on your own definition, because the market's going to bear out what it actually is.
Yeah.
And you can't get around that. Even though it may not fit your definition, the market has basically made their decision by where they put their money at, and you can't get around that.
Yeah. If I like I said, if I can see the character and identify the character again later on, then that was the first reference I had.
Yep.
Okay. Like the first appearance of Mary Jane, she's behind some flowers, so you can't see her face.
Right.
So even though she's there and you can see her hair outline and her legs or whatnot, you can't identify her.
Right.
I can't tell you what she looks like. But then in another issue, you see her and she says hello, and to me, that's her first appearance.
Yeah.
So
in the argument, I just want to say, if you think by winning your debate that Hulk 180 is going to be considered the first appearance, it'll never happen. There you go.
Doesn't matter. Just buy them all.
Exactly.
All
right. Next one comes from Harry Mesner. He says, it seems like yesterday that you were trying to get through a whole show without dropping a book, driving people crazy. I missed the low-tech good old days when it was just fun and games. Oh, well, as they say, toast can't be bread again. And the road calls.
Yeah. That was just a comment and stuff. And like I said, I didn't do that on purpose.
Right.
These do flare out. You can see what I'm talking. Look at this right here. It's like
They're
a half
making
inch.
excuses.
And this is like an inch and a half. That is not my fault.
All right.
But, we have upgraded the show through the years and obviously built a set, out of, recycled wood. And I think as time goes on, things do get better. You upgrade and you want to upgrade. You want to bring more stuff to the audience. But there's one thing we've always brought, which is the same as our personality and our charm.
Yeah.
That's always been there from day one.
It's always been fun.
Our sense of humor doesn't change.
No.
We still say the same dumb shit we've said before.
This is true.
And so that's never going to change. So
right.
We might get a better looking picture or a better looking display here and there, but it's the same guys talking. So
it is.
There you go.
All right, next one comes from John Spiliotopoulos. If I butchered your name.
When I typed that, I was like, oh, good luck, Bob.
If I butchered your name, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He says, I'm 51 years old, and it's time for me to sell my books. I have 51 long boxes, one for every year that he's been around.
Wow.
And I would love to know which is the best way to sell them. Some of them are in the 60s and 70s, but most are the 80s and 90s. Which app would you use to log them in? And after, how would you sell them? Thanks for all the great content.
Well, I will tell you what not to. Don't sell them to a comic shop.
Do not
sell them. You'll get pennies on the dollar. That's just how the business model works, and that's fine. As far as, I mean, that's a lot of books. I mean, that's not 51 long boxes. That's a lot of books. That's going to take you a long time to sell. I'll just be honest. I haven't used it yet. I am sponsored by them, the Whatnot. Mm-hmm. As far as a platform to get on and use, it seems pretty user-friendly, and it seems to be the trend going right now that people are on that app. I say that because, I can sell books on YouTube, but I have to build an audience up to get that, okay? And that takes a lot of time to build an audience to find you. So I always tell people, if you're going to sell stuff on your biggest platform. If you have 1,000 followers on Instagram and only 100 followers on Facebook, sell it on Instagram. Don't sell it on Facebook.
Right.
Go to your biggest platform. If you don't have any of those platforms, that's why I'm referring to Whatnot, because it is brand new, and everyone is kind of starting at the same spot, and they're looking for more and more sellers. So everyone who's looking on Whatnot, they're looking for something new. They're looking for the new seller. So I would say go that route if you're really looking at selling these things. And, of course, you got to do a lot of research for pricing.
True.
And,
one of the things that you can do, you mentioned logging them in. Use the CLZ app.
There you go.
You can use that, and they have a new feature. I think it's newer, where you can actually it'll pull up the prices on the books as long as you put the grade in for them.
Yeah.
And that will give you kind of an idea of what to sell your books at. But that's probably the best app I've seen as far as logging everything in, and it's very easy to use.
Yeah, and like I said, you got 51 boxes, so you got plenty of time. Start slow, building the audience on that Whatnot, and then go bigger after that. You know, and then once people kind of get your name and reputation, because Whatnot does vetting. They don't just let anyone sell on there. You have to go through a process to get approved, and everything, and then all the buyers as well. You have to enter in all your information in your account. So they're really I don't want to say picky, but they do their vetting on that stuff so that there's no issues and stuff like that. And they take a smaller percentage compared to eBay.
Yeah.
That's what people are really liking. And it streamlines it quite a bit more for you because it's dedicated to collectibles.
Yeah.
And people know what they're getting. So that's my recommendation to go. But, man, 51 boxes. Have fun.
Have fun. All right, so the next one comes from Bryce Parton. He says, what other channel / podcast would you recommend?
We always recommend Robbie's channel, Pop Culture Philosophers. That's kind of our go-to one. Some of our local friends, Sleepy Reader. Mm-hmm. He just put out a great video for his reviews, and he did some editing, and he was pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, for sure.
It looked really good. I told him, I said, it's a great video. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of stuff. Not as much as I used to. Just not enough time in the day to watch. So there's a lot of good stuff out there that I miss. And I have good friends that I talk to, but I don't watch their stuff. You know, I don't watch a lot of Comic Tom because I just talk to Tom. You know?
Right.
I don't watch a lot of Reggie because I talk to Reggie. So it's different, you know. And they have great shows to watch. And the same thing with Jim. I just talk to Jim. You know, instead of just watching the shows and stuff. But there's a lot of good shows out there. I've heard that John always talks about spine ticks or something like that. I guess they have. I've watched a few of their shows. He's a big fan of theirs and stuff like that. So there's something out there for everybody.
Yeah. So. There's a bunch of channels out there. I mean, you've already mentioned a few of them. Comic Tom 101, Reggie Collectors, or Gem Mint Collectibles. Those are bigger channels, but there are some smaller channels out there that put out great. John's Comics with Kids puts out great content.
No, it's not that good.
You don't like that? John's awesome, dude. But there's some smaller channels out there that don't get enough love. And I want to point, if you go to the Rogue Trader, he puts out great content all the time. Yeah. He doesn't have a lot of subscriptions. Yeah. Brian from Comic Crazy, he does a comic book rewind show every Thursday. It's awesome. He does a lot of great giveaways.
Yeah.
But there's something out there for everybody. And there's a lot of great channels out there. You can go to our channels and look at our preferred channels, and you'll find a lot.
There is a channel I watch every Tuesday night.
What's that?
I can't remember the name of it. But it's not a huge channel. It's actually a comic shop from like Kalamazoo, Michigan, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And every Tuesday night they put the books up on the shelf, and the guy goes through and he shows you all the books that are coming out. And he just goes down the aisle.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and it comes out Tuesday nights after they close or whatnot. And I watch it religiously every Tuesday just to see what exactly is coming out.
Yeah.
That actually made it to the shelf and what didn't make it to the shelf. Because they pretty much carry just about everything from what I've noticed.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I'm not doing them a favor by not remembering their channel name. Mm-hmm. But I watch it every Tuesday.
Yeah.
For probably a year straight.
Sure.
So
there's a couple of channels that they're starting to get recognition on the Key Collector app. Brian from Comic Crazy just emailed me. I just got the email last night. Jim's Comics. On the Key Collector app, he's getting noticed for comics that he's recommending that are going to be hot. He's
always been on that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's always been connected. He even has his own code for Key Collector.
I think it's awesome that they're pointing out that he said that this was going to be popping, know. And but Jim's Comics is another great for spec, for spec stuff.
And he's back, by the way.
Yeah, and there's a ton of great channels out there,
and some horrible ones too.
There's some horrible ones too. Okay, so the next one comes from Michael M. He says, what are your thoughts on the state of the industry going forward in the next year or two? Do you think this incredible price growth we have seen is sustainable, or do you expect some sort of correction? Thanks for the many great shows.
I think the correction has already happened. It's already happening.
It's happening.
And I think you see a lot of books going down in price in comparison to what they were just a few months ago.
Yep.
And I think we said it was going to happen. It wasn't like a... If you've been watching us, this shouldn't be a surprise to you.
Nope.
Because we mentioned this, I think about 7 or 8 months ago. We did a video, sell your books now.
Right.
Sell them now, And I've talked to publishers, and they've said the same thing. The correction or whatnot is already happening. It happened in other collectible hobbies first, and now it's happening in comics. Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean that the industry is going to suffer? No. I think the industry is doing great. I think it's going to be... Everyone always says, "Oh, manga is going to take over comics." I don't care. They've been saying that forever, And comics are dead. They've been saying that forever as well.
Yep.
And yet we're here year after year. Last year, I didn't think DC would be around, and they're making more books than they ever have right now. So I mean, really, they're fine. Let's be honest. Comics are fine. They're going to be fine next year, and they're going to be fine in another 5 years.
Yep.
It's a paper medium that's been able to survive a digital medium, and it's the only medium that has been able to do that. So me saying that means that it's still going to survive.
Yeah.
CDs didn't survive. Movies didn't survive. But the paper medium, books, comic books survived the digital era. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to a Target. Okay. Target doesn't have music anymore. Barely any movies, but they have a huge book section. What took place of all the movies and CDs is now books.
Right.
So the paper media isn't going anywhere. So no. I feel pretty confident about that. Now, I do think that it's saturated with the fact that you're talking about Echo getting their own thing. Okay, mm-hmm. Every damn character in the world is going to get an appearance on a movie or a TV show. If that's the case, it's not special anymore. Okay, and it just is what it is because they need to constantly do more stuff. And put new characters. So if every character is in the MCU or DCU or whatever, or a TV show, then it saturates it and it doesn't make those worth more money because it's not special anymore.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that point. And we're going to get to that point even quicker with how Disney Plus works and how they're doing TV shows to where it's to be expected that every character will be eventually in a series. And I think that's going to take its toll. I don't think you're going to see those books pop like they did because before it was a little bit more special, and now it's about time.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
When you're asking the question earlier, what character do you want to see in the MCU? You got to think about it now.
Yeah.
because almost all of them have been in there.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a ton that are coming as well.
Yeah.
But as far as the growth of the industry, I think independents are the ones that have the bigger pop right now. They keep growing and growing year over year, and I think that eventually we're going to see the independents up there just as much as the big two, and probably overtake them. And I think that they're going to be the future of the comic industry going forward. That's just my personal opinion.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one comes from Half Moon Picks. He says, both Bob and Bueller, if you had superpowers, what would be your power and name? Please be unique.
Power and name?
Okay, so my superpower right now is gas. And so I'd probably be a character called Blowback, and it'd be like Cannonball.
He's thought of this.
I have.
You can tell he's thought of this at night or on the pot.
Just let it rip, baby, and woof. Yeah. There you go. Blowback. There you go. Superpower gas.
Nice. My superpower would be, I talked to my kids about this because we used to do this a lot. I could fly, but only 2 inches off the ground. Just 2 inches. So I could fly.
Right.
And I'd be the floater.
The floater?
Yeah.
Blowback in the floater.
Blowback in the floater.
I love it. Somebody got to do a comic cover.
Yeah. Just 2 inches off the ground. And the other one was the superpower was invisibility, but every time you went invisible, you smelled like crap, and everyone knew you were there because it was a distinct smell that only smelled that bad.
How is that different than right now?
Yeah, exactly. And you can see it coming. Yeah. So
I love it.
We always came up with superpowers with just limited things. So anyway,
that's great. Okay, next one comes from Fraggle Socks. He says, what are your favorites? Comic book, storyline, artist, writer, cover, character. Wow.
Favorite is The Punisher. Favorite storyline is probably Kraven's Last Hunt. Writer is Chris Claremont. Artist is Todd McFarlane. I think I covered everything on that.
There you go. Of course, mine is Daredevil. Favorite story is Born Again. Probably the greatest comic book story of all time. And then favorite artist, I'm going to go with Joe Quesada. Favorite writer, I'm going to go out on a limb, guys, and I'm going to say Ed Brubaker because I'm really going back through that run and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to put him out there at the forefront. That may surprise some of you. And I think that's it, right?
Cover. I forgot that cover for me is Contest of Champions #1.
Oh, there you go. Well, cover when it comes to Daredevil is on the Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada on those first 8 issues of Volume 2. Issue number 3 where he's around the cross. Yeah. That's my favorite cover of all time on Daredevil.
There you go.
All right. Next one comes from Shane Lorison, our good buddy Shane. He says, when your show goes on the road and you eventually meet most of us, your audience and subscribers, will you make special episodes showing the local comic shops and letting us show off our collections? My collection sucks, but I love to see what everyone has. Also, it'd be cool to put faces to the people that are in chat every Monday morning.
Shane, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to go to Shane's house and I want to say, Shane, do you mind if I highlight your collection? Would you like to be on the video? You can if you want to. If you don't want to, I understand. Some people don't want to be on the video, and I get that. But if you want to, be awesome. And you know what? I'll make it a really pleasant experience. And very low key, and show some great books and highlight your collection. And whether your collection has 30 copies of Hulk 181 or 30 copies of X-Force #1, it doesn't matter. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know what? So, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do from day one. And highlight comic shops and do the same thing for that. At least the ones that will let me come into the door.
Yeah, there you go. So. All right, next one comes from 20 Tone. He says, as I am a new reader of only 2 years, could you please recommend a good run to pick up for X-Men, Wonder Woman, and an indie book? I truly appreciate your content as it builds up and benefits the community. Mike K. Okay,
so I had to write this down because I had to look it up for sure. Mm-hmm. When I got back into collecting, I asked local comic shop guy, Bruce, I said, hey, man, I go, what's a book I should read? What I missed out? And I was asking about X-Men, and he said, here, he handed me, it was Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon. And I read that, took it home, the trade paperback, loved it.
Yeah.
So check that one out. I think he did. I wrote down the first 24 issues, Astonishing X-Men 1 through 24, Joss Whedon. Check that one out. It's really good. I don't know about Wonder Woman at all. I haven't read any of those. My indie book pick would be a small series. Obviously, Shadow Doctor was my favorite last year. And then if you haven't read Walking Dead, now's a good time because they're reissuing all the issues in color with extra stuff, so that's another good one to jump on.
Yeah, absolutely. He mentions Wonder Woman. Last year, there was a 3-issue series that came out called Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing story. Yeah. I would definitely pick that up. He mentions indie, same guy that recommended Astonishing X-Men to you, Bruce. When I first walked into a shop, he recommended Black Hammer and got the first trade paperback. Absolutely loved it. And so that's a good one to pick up for sure.
Yeah, he had a weird fetish with that.
He did, but it was good.
Yeah,
it was definitely good by Jeff Lemire. All right, next one comes from Roger. He says, question for Travis. Did you ever get that Suicide Jockey Roadhouse homage cover? And what will fill the Monday show? Let's go ahead and ask that first.
I did get it. I think it was sent to me from... God, if I get this wrong, I feel bad. I think it was sent to me from Descending Climax, if I'm not mistaken. If I got that wrong, my apologies. But yes, I did get it. And so I thank them for that very much. It's really cool. It's in my collection. I'm not going to get rid of it. So what's going to take place at the Monday show? I am planning on... I like my 5 o'clock time slot that I do on Monday morning. So I'll probably do some live shows on Mondays if I have where I'm at, if I have internet access. And so I want to do some of those shows still as time goes on. I'll probably take a few weeks off, after our last one here, just because moving and doing everything. But I've owned that 5 a.m. time slot for almost 4 years. I'm not giving it up.
There you go.
Anyway, so there will be something there, and I've always tried to at least put something there when we didn't do a coffee show as well.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So the next part of the question, he says, question for Bob. Will Bob ever join you on the road for a special video or a special guest appearance? I'm going to miss the Monday show. You guys have the best comic book chemistry on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. My plan is, yes. I know Travis.
He's not sleeping on the damn bus.
No, but while he's on the road, there will be opportunities to do remote stuff. But his family lives here, so he will be rolling into town quite frequently.
Yeah.
And when those things happen, we'll try to plan things out.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely do some stuff. Of course, the plan would be for Washington State SummerCon when that comes up, that we'll both be there.
It's funny you bring that up.
Why?
This is really cool. So I get a message last night from Steve.
Oh, really?
Who is the showrunner for Washington State SummerCon. And he sends me a list of creators. A huge 5-page list. He goes, pick 5.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's like, what 5 would you want?
He is awesome.
And there were some major names on there. I had fun filling that out.
I bet you did.
So I'm picking the guests for the next show. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll show you later.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
wow, what a list.
I would love for Bob to join me. Like if I'm at a Comic-Con out of state or something like that, and come on down. Like I said, he's not staying on the bus. It's not made for two guys of our size.
I'm not spooning on the bus, bro.
There is another bed, but it's not that long. Get a freaking hotel, pal.
Right.
Like that one that you wanted that one time with all the hooker ladies that were there. I get a text. He goes, dude, there's hookers in here. I go, I know. I'm on the elevator with them.
I was so surprised. I was blown away. We're sitting there. We start walking up the hallway, my wife and I, and there's hookers walking up and down.
Not just one.
No.
There's a gaggle of them.
Knocking on each other's doors and going. I was like, what did we walk into?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, just one of the memories that we created.
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Mark Lineker. He says, Bueller, have you ever lived in a van down by the river before? Close.
I lived in a single-wide trailer by a lake for many years, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was our family lake, so it was great. So there you go. That's what you get.
There you go. This one comes from Beach Boys Comics. He says, what are you going to miss most about the Coffee and Comic Show?
This guy right here.
The same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it.
The interaction between the two of us and the interaction between you guys, but we can always do that.
Yeah.
We can always go live and talk to you guys, but like I said, doing the interaction in person is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Now on to me now. Try to get through these a little quicker. We're going to be here forever. This one is from Philip Johnson. When are you and Reggie Collects going to get together to do a collaboration? He gets so excited whenever he sees you on his live feed. I'll just say this. I'll be honest with you guys because you guys are probably wondering this. Reggie is intimidated by me. And he's been intimidated by me for years. That's why he always has that hashtag take down Bueller or try to beat Bueller. He knows this ain't going to happen. And he tries to talk a big game, but he knows he sees me in total intimidation. I love the guy, and I feel bad for him. And he shouldn't be intimidated, but, I get it. I get it. And eventually, someday, if he gets over that, he might have me on the show.
There you go. He's going to get all the Swolgers after you, bro.
Soldier ahead. The Bueller Brigade is larger than the Swolgers.
There you go.
Actually, they're all a bunch of the same people, so we're all good. But yeah, no, I don't know. I would love to do stuff with Reggie, and I'm hoping to go visit Reggie on my trips.
Yeah.
And hang out with that gentleman. He's a great guy, good friend. We talk every now and then. Like I said before, me and Reggie talk about stuff besides comics, just how the family are doing. He's helped me with my daughter, with her bodybuilding and stuff like that. I've known him from almost the very beginning when we all started 4 years ago. He was just recently on Comic Tom's channel for the podcast or whatnot, and they pretty much spent the whole time talking about me. I don't know what it was. It was like literally like 5 minutes in, Bueller. 10 minutes in, more Bueller.
Right.
At the end, still Bueller.
Right.
They said, hey, Tom goes, what's your goals for your channel? He goes, I just want to beat Bueller. That's it. That's all he considers. The intimidation factor is still there.
There we go.
But, anyway.
That's going to be great when you two are on screen together finally.
We do have the times that we have done it together, it's a blast.
Yeah.
We just crack up laughing the whole time. And, because look at us. We look exactly the same. We got the guns going.
You got the guns going. Okay. Yeah. There we go. You just keep going with that, bro.
It's like before and after pictures.
All right.
I got the next one there. Joseph Kincaid says, Bueller, did you or Bob ever play a PC game called City of Heroes? It was a comic book character MMO that was live 2004-2012. Love the shows. Looking forward to the next evolution. I tried it. I didn't have a computer that would run it. What about you? Ever play it?
Yeah, I did. I played it from about 2004 till about 2007. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that the character creation engine was one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I could literally spend like hours just creating a new character. I think it was one of my favorite parts of it. Yeah. And I, was part of a clan. And I probably didn't play that one as much as I did EverQuest. Because I played that pretty hardcore for about 5 years. And but yeah, City of Heroes was a pretty good game.
There you go. Next one is from Radio Friar Fall. Do you have any information how Substack and comics evolved since a few months ago it was a hype for a week? I don't think it's having any effect whatsoever. I haven't really paid attention to the Substacks going forward. Bob wasn't with us on that episode that we talked about, but he shared his opinion. He's not a fan of it or whatnot. And really, I think it was just, I think it's just another option for other books or whatnot if you want to get them. So I don't really see it taking away from anything in the comic industry.
Truthfully, ever since you guys had that show and then we talked about the week after, I have never heard anybody else talk about it since.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I still get updates because I'm subscribed to. I don't do the pay subscription. I just do the free stuff for a couple of them, and every now and then I check them. But I think it's a niche market for something like that. To follow that. The people that like digital will follow it, and the people who don't like digital aren't going to follow it.
Hey, more power to those creators that got those $30,000 checks, though.
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Next one is from Jeff Scherer. Gonna miss CNC. You guys are my go-to show. Thank you very much. I only wish I was able to participate more in live chats, but, tough to do when I need to be at work at 5 a.m. Anyway, having said that, what can we expect for programming? Can we expect a successor to the Comics and Coffee? Will there be plans for Bob to do a few shows on the channel? like I said before, I will be doing something different, and me and Bob will still be doing things together remotely. We've talked about that, pretty similar to what we do on the coffee show, but just we actually went through and said what would we want to keep and what would we get rid of, and we almost couldn't get rid of anything,
right?
To be honest. But we're curious to see how it works as far as like presentation wise, and it goes from there. And I think what we're planning on doing is recording something remotely, and then I will edit it and put it together and try to make it look, kind of cool or what.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. Now it might not be something that comes out every week, just because of scheduling and where I'm at and what Bob's doing or whatnot. But a couple times a month would be great, and then maybe a couple of live things together a month. So.
Yeah. I mean, for me, for the next 3 months, I'm focusing on this house.
Yes.
And so, I'm not going to be putting out a lot of content. I'm not going to be available because I still have work. I still have all the the things I'm doing. But after that, I'll be available for a lot more stuff.
Yeah, and then I have some new stuff that I want to do. I kind of want to get them off the ground. I want to spend more time reviewing books. I want to actually hit that. That's something me and Bob used to do quite a bit, where we do separate reviews. I want to get back to reading books and doing a review on books, like an individual book, and do that. I want to get to highlighting the comic shops, and that video, as all my videos kind of look, you see them from day 1 to day 100. They evolve, they get better.
Yeah.
They look better. I learn as I go along. That's going to be the same case with those type of videos or my interviews or stuff like that. So I'm curious to go through that process again.
My request, whether you use it or not, is when we used to do reviews, we start it with, let's talk about this book. And that should be the name of the show if we do that going forward.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool. I was watching some of those the other day.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Jeff, this is also from Jeff. He says, comic-related question for both of you. What is the one book in your collection, past or present, that for whatever reason people would ask, why is this here?
I can tell you right off the bat what mine is.
What is it?
So most people who know me know that I'm a pastor, and if people are looking through my collection, they're usually people who know comics, and they'll be looking through my stuff and they'll come across Faust by Tim Vigil.
Yeah.
Highly satanic, highly a lot of sexual stuff inside of it, and way back when. In the 90s, when that stuff came out, Tim Vigil was one of the best artists I had ever seen. And for nostalgic purposes, I have about 5 of his comics in my collection. But most people who would know me and know who I am now, they're just like, what's this doing here? So that's the one.
I used to have an Oprah Winfrey book.
There you go.
I bought it as a gag to give it to Sam.
Give it to Sam, yeah.
And then I now have that book back in my collection.
Yeah.
So now it's a keeper. So that's why it's there now. But yeah, it was an Oprah Winfrey.
I love it.
I don't even know what it was, but I was like, what is this?
Right.
So, all right, the next one is from Anton Masubius, I think. Never really watched the show except for clips on YouTube, but I am very into comics. Into the comic Invincible. How about you guys? Never read the comic book. Only watched the show. I only watched the show because Bob said it was pretty good, and I liked it. Thought it was pretty good, and I don't know if they ever come out with another volume for the comic. They don't, right? It's just that one.
It's just the one volume that they came out with. For me, I had so many people tell me you have to read this, and I hate when people tell me that I have to read something.
Yeah, he hates stuff.
So I'll usually stay away from it if people tell me I have to read it.
Yeah.
But then I watched the show and I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
And so I've got the first 2 trades now, and I love it. It's a great comic. So yeah, I'm starting to get into it, and it's one of those comics that came out while I was out of collecting. So.
Yeah, mine too. I like the show. I look forward to they've renewed it for a couple more seasons. I think so. Should be good. Another one from Anton. He says, "Okay, easy to talk to you guys, and my questions are as followed. As you both are you both excited about the new Batman movie? I am. 3 hours, can't wait. How excited was Bob when he saw Daredevil sitting there next to Spider-Man? We wish we could have seen more of him. Would have been a great if their team." Have you guys ever read Planet of the Apes Visionaries? It's a pretty great graphic novel, and I highly recommend it. Add, as you heard, that all the talk now around Doctor Who is that Bob's wish is going to come through. We're talking that David Tennant will return. What do you think about that? Yeah, That's a great question.
So let me answer a couple of these. All right, so when Daredevil came on screen, I was probably the only person in the theater that jumped up out of my seat. I yelled, of course, because I was waiting for it.
He hurt himself.
I was waiting for it. Yeah, I probably did. I don't know, but I was so freaking excited. Absolutely loved it. Haven't read Planet of the Apes Visionaries. I don't know if you ever have.
No.
But now that you mentioned it, I'll be on the lookout for it.
Really? Because you just said.
What?
You just said, like, the last thing. I hate it when people tell me to read it. Oh, no,
well, he isn't saying I have to read it.
You know what? You should read it. Sorry about that.
Ain't going to happen now.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the Doctor Who news, I mean, that's great speculation. Look, there is an anniversary episode that's coming up, and I know David Tennant's going to be on that, but people have expanded that to say that he's going to be the next Doctor, but not reprising the role of the 10th Doctor. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that they've just rolled that into a rumor. I'd love to see David Tennant back, but I think it's just for that anniversary episode, and I'll take it.
Yeah, I was never a Doctor Who fan. I was more of a Dr. Detroit.
Dr. Detroit.
Yeah. You guys know what that is? If you do, you're lucky. If you don't, too bad. Am I excited for the 3-hour Batman movie? Sure. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm just kind of worried with as dark as the trailers have been, that it's not rated R. Yeah. You know, and that's like, it seemed like a no-brainer that would be a rated R movie, but it's not. So we'll see what happens.
We'll find out. All right, next one. Colossus or James V says, hello, Bueller and Bob. I was wondering if you had a set route in mind for your road trip. Clockwise, spiral around the U.S., counterclockwise, or zigzag up and down. I'll be watching the show for over 2 years now and will be sorry to see it go. Hopefully you have some form of it moving forward. Yes, we do. You both are great for the hobby. You're not all about profit. I'm all about the money, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. But the enjoyment of comics and spreading the fun to others. Like I said earlier, I don't really have a set route. I don't want a set route. I want to just be able to go where I want to go. And I want to stay there for how long I want to stay. If I go to a place and I enjoy it, I want to stay there for a couple weeks. If I go to a place and it sucks, I'll leave the same day. I'll do my best to kind of keep you guys updated where I'm at. I can tell you for sure I will be at some of the major Comic-Cons this year. As part of my deal with Whatnot, I kind of agreed to do that. And so I'll be at the bigger ones like probably C2E2, New York Comic Con. I don't know about the San Diego one or whatnot, but some of the bigger ones, Baltimore, MegaCon, stuff like that. I'll try to be at all those. So I'm looking forward to seeing people there, and no real set route. I've maybe that changes. Maybe I do. After a while, I do put out a set route, but right now I'm just like, my goal is to go to Albuquerque and see my daughter and drop off the cat and some other stuff, and from there. I'm literally in the middle of the United States. Go wherever I want.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Next one is from Robbie Kilpatrick. I think you asked one earlier. Mm-hmm. What Marvel movie or TV show are you most excited for? And also, Bueller, what would you do if the bus thing doesn't work out? Oh, okay. What Marvel movie or TV show am I excited for? I just saw the... I don't really know. Maybe She-Hulk. I like She-Hulk character. I'm curious to see how they do the CGI on that, if it looks good. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind that. Obviously, the Doctor Strange one, I'm curious to see what they do with all that multiverse of madness.
Right.
And I don't know. I usually see them. I didn't really pay too much attention to the last, like Shang-Chi or the Eternals or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So, but I did like the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man was awesome. I think the movie that I'm most excited about for the MCU is Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah. I love Taika Waititi, and I think he killed it the last time, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the second part of this is what do I do if the bus thing doesn't work out? Well, I move in with Bob.
Hey, dude, remember that place?
Hey, man, you know that shed in the back?
There you go.
Remember how I told you my son used to stay out there? Let's talk.
There we go.
Next one is from Elliot Crickner. It says, question for you both. What's your opinion on people flipping comics, buying on New Comic Book Day and putting them on eBay after reading it, or just buying it to sell to make some money? It's been around since the very beginning of comics, and it's part of it. So I mean, as far as my opinion on it, I don't really have an opinion on it. It needs to be there. That's how a lot of us get our comic books.
Yeah.
You know, people buy them, and a convention is people buying comics and selling them. And just because you have a business license and a brick and mortar, you know, that's sure a shop. But you know, most comics or a lot of comics are bought just from individuals and stuff like that. And there's tons of markets. So I think it's necessary for the secondary market to exist.
Yeah, I mean it's true. The only time that it bothers me, it's not something that I do. I mean, I don't buy a brand new comic and then look to flip it the next day. But I know that there are people who do that. And the only time it bothers me is when people come in and they'll take everything on the shelf, and you know, if you don't have a pull list, you're out of luck. Yeah. And I've never liked that. But like, you know, there are people speculating on Hulk #3, you know, for the Black Hulk, and you're gonna buy up every single issue. And you know, I don't know, I've never liked seeing it go up the next day for 10 times the price. I don't personally like it, but I also understand that it's part of the it's part of the hobby, and it needs to be there.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we have the next one as well. Steve White says, "Love that you are taking the Comics and Coffee on the road in the van. I hope to meet up with you in the coming year when you make your way to Canada." I want to talk about Canada. Eventually, I am going to go to Canada. I've always wanted to. There's some restrictions, obviously, with the COVID as far as how long you can stay or what you can do. So when that dies down, probably in a year or so, I hope to make some trips to Toronto and other places in Canada, because I want to eventually make it up to Alaska. And obviously, you got to go through Canada. You got to go through Canada to get to Alaska, right? Yes, you do. That was a trick question, but I didn't know he would think about it like that. Anyway,
well, you can go through Washington and take the ferry, but anyway,
I'm not taking a ferry.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not getting on that boat.
You're taking a ferry with you everywhere you go, aren't you? Anyway.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I'm going to edit that out. Oh, God.
Hey, go ahead.
Okay, I got the next one there. But I am eventually going to hit Canada. I'm really looking forward to it. Jeff Stanley says, question for Bueller and Bob. What is the oldest comic book you ever owned?
For me, way back when I was collecting with my original collection, I did have a few Golden Age comics in my collection that were... I had a Golden Age Flash, and I had a Golden Age Batman. They weren't worth anything. They were very tattered, but they were the oldest books in my collection, and I think they were they were in the 50s.
Yeah.
That's about as old as I've ever had.
I don't remember off the top of my head what issue it is, but it was a Superboy one. It was a 10-center, and I remember it being the oldest one I have because I showed it on the video one time. I think I sold it, to be honest. I don't know if it was anything special, but that was the oldest book I ever had in my collection. Bob, guess what?
What?
You're on the final page.
All right. Next one comes from Punisher's Warzone. He says, my question is this. If you had total control over artist, writer, inker, colorist on any comic book, who and what would it be? Also, Bueller said Basilisk correctly. I like the old way better.
Yeah, Balsic.
There you go.
We kind of hit on that a little earlier. It's a very similar one, and I kind of go with the same thing. Writer, Chris Claremont. Artist, Tom McFarlane, inker. Let's give some Randy Emberlin, some local guy here. Colorist, I don't know. Cover art, or if there's a cover art, probably let's do Alex Ross. Give him some more stuff. So yeah, I put all that in there. It'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can go
X-Men book.
It'd be an X-Men book.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, if I had total control, it'd be Jim Lee on art. It'd be Ed Brubaker writing. Colorist would be Tamara Bonneville. Inker, let's go Klaus Janson. And as far as what book would it be, I don't know. Let's go ahead and throw X-Men as well.
Sure.
And then as far as cover artist, let's go Shannon Mayer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How you doing, Shannon?
Shannon,
Becky,
good to see you, buddy.
Hope you guys are doing well. All right, you got the next one.
Yep, next one comes from Brandon. He says, hey, Bueller and Bob, I love The Punisher and have had some random issues, but what is the best run to collect for him? That's going to be your question.
My favorite is just the 5-part miniseries that really introduced me to The Punisher. I still have to this day. Those covers are just, awesome looking. So if you're looking for that, the original miniseries, Firefighter, I think that was his first actual book that came out that had was his.
Yeah.
So that right there, and then the Punisher Warzone, Punisher War Journal. The first 20 issues, man, I read those so many times back and forth. There's a lot of Punisher I've never read because I wasn't collecting for a long time. So there's a lot of stuff out there I haven't read, like the Garth Ennis run. Haven't really read much of that. Some bits and pieces here and there. But I've heard that's really good. I mean, they did a lot of really crazy things to the Punisher.
Yeah.
They made him into Frankenstein at one time and stuff like that.
You made him Ghost Rider at one point, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he's been around the block a few times. And he's died multiple times and come back to life and all this stuff. But I will always be a fan of the original 5. And I love the Punisher series, this regular series, but War Journal was my favorite.
Yeah, War Journal was
Jim
the
Lee
one.
on the artwork and just the different stuff that they did with the Wolverine. They had Spider-Man in there as well for a couple issues. I just really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, that would be my pick. It would be War Journal. I absolutely loved that comic when it came out.
Yeah.
So, all right, the next one comes from James Winkler. He says, "What are you and Bob's favorite comic cover that is a cover A, older or newer, and not a variant?"
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, Contest Champions #1. Mm-hmm. It's got all the superheroes on it, and they're all just looking at something. I just think it's a really neat looking cover. And obviously back then there wasn't variants that they were doing. At least I don't think so. Yeah, there wasn't.
Yeah.
But definitely that one is probably my favorite.
My favorite changes, week over week. I love comic book art, and so, but I think one of the ones that's always my go-to is Silver Surfer #4 with him and Hulk. Thor on the cover.
Sure.
And that's a mainstay. Also, Marvel Comics Presents #20 with Doom on the cover.
Yeah.
That's another one of my favorites. But I love comic book art, so it always changes.
All the A covers for Immortal Hulk are all Alex Ross.
Alex Ross, those are great.
Those are probably the best 50 covers that you can get in a row. And same thing with Captain America. He did the A covers for Captain America and for Immortal Hulk last year, whatever it was.
Yep.
Those are all awesome.
They're amazing.
And they're all, one for one. So
for sure. All right, next one comes from James Jones. He says, "Are you guys going to check out the new Amazing Spider-Man by Wells and Romita Jr.? I'm really looking forward to it since the current story ain't so great, laughing out loud."
I'm definitely going to check it out. I check out pretty much anything that's new. Just for, the nice thing is Marvel sends me previews so I can read it. So that's all I end up doing. And if I like it, I might pick it up. But for the most part, I stick to my guns, and I still haven't bought a Marvel book besides a couple here and there for some other reasons. But I really don't buy Marvel anymore because I still don't like the paper quality. And I've said this before. I'm not going to spend my money on something that's, tissue paper.
Right.
And until they fix that, I'm not going to put my money on it. But I do read a lot of the books because they send me the digital copies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every now and then they get a book out there that I just want to have for sure, and I'll pick it up and I'll make that exception. But for the most part, if you compare it to the history of what I bought before, I buy very little Marvel right now because of that paper.
Sure. When it comes to Spider-Man, it's a sore spot for me because I used to love reading every issue. And they're kind of different than DC. At DC, their flagship character is Batman. They usually try to put their best talent on Batman. It seems like what Marvel has done is not put their best talent on Spider-Man because they know people are going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a money grab, and it doesn't grab me, so I'm not buying it. I love John Romita Jr. coming back on Spider-Man. I think that's pretty cool. I'll check it out. But if it's not quality, if it's not grabbing me, I'll drop it again. So there you have it.
There you have it.
All right, next one comes from Mary Jane's Comics and Collectibles. It says, "My question to you guys is, when you started becoming an online presence in the community, what was your main motivation in the beginning? Thank you, Stephen Clifton."
There was a little bit more set up to this question, but that was the actual question itself. Mm-hmm. What was my main motivation in the beginning? The main motivation was honestly to give myself purpose. At the time, I wasn't doing nothing. I've said this before. I didn't have any purpose. And I didn't really have any reason for waking up in the morning, because I was just sitting on the freaking couch playing video games for the last 4 years, wasting away. And I needed to find something to give me purpose to do something, and this was it. Because I noticed that people paid attention, and people enjoyed it. So I felt obligation to do something. And I kind of looked at myself and said, you know what, this is something I can do that I can be proud of, and I don't want to take any shortcuts in this one. And I said that from the very beginning. No shortcuts. Everything is on the up and up. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of shortcuts come up in life or work or whatnot, and you end up taking them, and sometimes you say, maybe I shouldn't have done that. This is the one opportunity I got to where I said, well, I want to make this solid from day one. There's no holes in this whatsoever. There's no shortcuts being taken. What you see is what you get. It's all on display. I don't hide anything from anybody. It's there. And that motivated me to get off the couch and start doing this stuff and make a living doing this and make a base of people who enjoy watching it. And that's what motivated me in the beginning. And it still motivates me to this day. Every single day it's the same thing. That's the main motivation to the channel.
Yeah.
I want to be proud of it. I want to leave my mark, and I don't want there to be any asterisk by it whatsoever. And so I never take a shortcut.
Yeah.
Never. So, and I'm proud of it. And I see the results, and I see the difference between some people who chose to and some people who didn't. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's it for me.
Yeah, for me, I mean, when I first started, my motivation had to do with just wanting to be involved in comics. And one of the things that, everybody, who talked to me, used to tell me, you should be talking to people or do a show on comics, because every time you talk about comics, I want to get into this. And so something about the way that I talk was motivating people. And one of the things that I saw at comic conventions was the panels. And I thought, man, it'd be really cool if I was to be able to get involved doing something like that. And so in order to give myself, a little traction, I thought that I would start maybe a show. And if I did successful at it, then I could say, here's what I do online. Maybe you'd consider me for doing a panel or something like that. That was what the motivation was in the beginning. Yeah. And then I found out that it's very difficult to talk on camera. And then all this other stuff went into it. But really the motivation changed very quickly when you guys started to interact with me online, and the support that I was given and the relationships that I made became so much greater than any motivation that I had in the beginning. Yeah. And that's still the thing that drives me today. I love the comic book community. Other YouTubers, you guys that watch my channel, you guys that watch this show, it's one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. And I've just really enjoyed being able to interact with the community. And so now my motivation, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And so I don't have any goals. I don't have any lofty things. I just want to have fun, put out videos, and do what I've been doing with interacting with a lot of my friends that I've met here in the community.
That's a horrible reason.
Thank you. All right. Next one comes from our good friend Eric Rigsby. He says that Shaw alien variant is a little inappropriate, don't you think? I have no idea what he's talking about.
Sure it is. It's a very penisy.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't actually know what he's talking about.
Probably that's what I was thinking. That probably was it. But
yeah, it looks like a penis.
Okay.
I don't know.
Next question.
How you doing, Eric?
Thanks, Eric. Next one, Toadman X. Are Bob and Jen making a new show for Coffee and Comics, or will there be a different Bueller Bus program in the same slot? That Monday morning show is an incentive for many of us to start the work week.
Like I said, I'm still going to probably put something out there, probably a live show. Bob works at that time, so it just doesn't work out for like him to join me on a Monday morning. But I'm hoping that Bob does some stuff with the local people here.
Yeah, for sure.
He's done shows with Jen. He was the host of the Coffee and Comics show with Jennifer on here at one time, which I thought
fastest show out that we've ever done.
It was pretty cool. But it was great.
It was great.
And you got to get your feet wet, and
sure.
I thought he did great. I sat in that chair right over there, and his wife was right there, and we looked at each other like, oh my God.
And they laughed at me a lot.
it was a lot of fun. And Jennifer does great. But I'm hoping all the Portland comic crew and the people who aren't in front of the camera right now that are our friend, like John.
John Stout.
John's talked about doing some stuff. Mm-hmm. He'd be great Batman guest or whatnot or whatever. So
for sure.
Eric as well, another great guy and stuff. So I'm hoping all you guys get to. I was just telling Damien yesterday, the day before, I was like, I'm hoping you guys still come to Mocha Express. Mm-hmm. I get it's out of your way because they live further away, but every now and then I'm hoping you guys still come here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hang out because I know the owner of Mount Hair really appreciates it. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
All right, so the next one comes from Jimmy Dunlop. He says, 2-part question. Will you be hitting Delaware? And will you be giving me a high five if we cross paths?
No on the high five. That's gross. Sure. I'll give you a double high five.
There you go.
And Delaware? Where's Delaware?
Right?
No, sure. I'm going everywhere.
Yeah, from what I understand, Delaware has one of the oldest cons out there. And
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of older talent show up there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
They probably live there.
Probably.
Yeah, sure. I'll be at Delaware. Eventually, I'll be everywhere, including Delaware.
There you go. You see what he did there?
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Jeffrey Schultz.
I'm a genius.
He says, are you coming to Kansas City area anytime soon?
Sure. Eventually, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Actually, I got family there. So, yes, my brother lives there. So, I will probably be there sooner than later.
Very cool.
So, looking forward to seeing him. So
awesome. Next one comes from Anthony Gross. He said, what are some of your favorite storylines? What are some of your least favorites? Thanks for making my Mondays bearable. I always look forward to the new episodes on Monday and the comic previews on Wednesday. Keep up the work. Station.
So my favorite storylines, I talked about one. Graven's Last Hunt was probably my favorite all time. Secret Wars is another one. Days of Future Past is another storyline I really loved. Recently, The Deceased. I loved all those. Thought they were great. This is kind of funny because I mentioned this book. My favorite cover is Contest of Champions, but the story isn't that great.
No.
And it just doesn't make any sense how they're set up, and there's really if they just said no, we're not doing it, there's no ramifications. It doesn't, then I don't know. So that one was always something I really loved the book, but the story just wasn't that good. And it was they never made. Well, they did do a volume. I never read volume 2, but yeah, that's about it. But there is some storylines that I haven't read yet that I'm looking forward to. I actually have some thick books that were Sam's right over there, like Omnibus. Yeah, so I look forward to reading those and getting caught up on some of the stuff I missed out on. So
yeah, pretty cool. One of my favorites I'll always mention is Doom Quest. I love that storyline with Iron Man and Doctor Doom. I already mentioned Born Again, but another one that I loved when the comics were coming out. I don't think it reads as well when you read it all together, but when the Dark Phoenix saga was coming out, that was like incredible.
Yeah.
I loved Batman Hush is another great story. And then there's tons of them out there. If you watch enough of our shows, you'll pick up on what our favorite stories are. For sure. All right, next one comes from Amanda Sparger. She says, "Hey Bueller and Bob, is there a storyline you've wanted to read but have never gotten around to?"
Yes, actually, that's what I was just talking about. There's one over there, Civil War. I've never read Civil War. And it just came out when I wasn't collecting, and I never read The Secret Wars by Hickman either. It came out another series that came out when I wasn't collecting, so I'm really looking forward to reading those two. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to The Secret Wars as well. Robbie had me read Hickman's Fantastic Four run, Hickman's Avengers run. I'm done with those. Now I'm ready to hop into Secret Wars because I can't wait to get to God Emperor Doom, which is I'm really waiting to get to. But there's a smattering of stuff on the Marvel Unlimited app that I can't wait to get to. It's just a bunch of stories that I never got to read back in the day that I'm looking forward to. So, also before this, Anthony Gross talked about, are there any storylines that were not bearable, that were not good? Do you have any of those?
Yeah, I told the Contest Champion.
Friend. Well, for me, it's that's right. You did say that. For me, it was the Clone Saga and Spider-Man. I hated that story.
I've heard a few people say that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next one comes.
The last one.
Yeah, this is the last one. This is the last one.
This is the last one.
The last one. All right, comes from John Cristancho. He says, "Will you be posting your itinerary for which state you're going to and a list of shops you'll be visiting? And if you are, will it be on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube? You also said the show will continue in one form or another. Will that be on this channel or on Bob's Bullseye?" I think he means Everything Comics.
Yeah. So obviously this question has been asked a few times on here, or someone. So I wanted to hit it a few times because I get asked quite a bit about what I'm doing. Just one last time. In some form, I will let you know where I'm at. I won't give you too much of a like a certain date. That's the thing. I don't want to be on the 15th. I'll be there. I want to be like, maybe by the end of the month I'll be there, or when I'm almost there, I will let you know. Like, hey, tomorrow I'll be here. I don't want to commit to something and not be able to make it. That's my biggest worry. So that's the one thing I don't want to do. Like I said, check the community tab. I don't really use Facebook that much, but my Instagram is where I put that stuff. As far as continuing on Bob's channel, Bob can do whatever he wants. He can. he did a video one time, and it was almost like a copy. It was a ripoff.
I asked him first if it'd be okay for me to do it. So
he did, but I always like giving him shit for it. But Bob is welcome to use whatever he wants, and he is my partner in crime. So whatever he wants to do, and I'm an open book when it comes to that stuff. Really, I mean, I used to do a series called Just the Keys.
Just the Keys.
And Hydra Collectibles has adopted that series. He calls it the same thing. And he let me know. I said, I don't care. Go for it.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore. But it's called Just the Keys. And he's doing the same thing. So
that's awesome.
More power to you. So I don't mind sharing my ideas. I've always had plenty of ideas to share. And if somebody wants something, just let me know. And I'll go for it. So.
He's the idea, man. For sure.
But that's the itinerary, and like I said, that might change. I might get more official, and you might know exactly where I'm at. But as I stand right now, the first place I'm going is Albuquerque, and that's literally right in the middle of the United States. And from there, doors wide open.
Yeah, awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So that's the questions. The final Q&A.
The final Q&A.
Coffee and Comics show. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of, I don't know, maybe 100 of them total, if you kind of dissect them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if they say, what's your favorite artist, that's a 1.
That's a 1.
And if they say, what's your favorite artist and writer, that's 2.
That's 2.
That's how we get to that 100 number right there.
Right.
Anyway, well, that was pretty cool.
That was cool. I enjoy doing these.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and go jump to our final 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. Take these down. Mm-hmm. Bob, you can go ahead. Try not to drop any this time.
I'm going to try not to. So these are all books that will be sold on the auction next week. This one is Canto number 1. This is a convention exclusive. It's a pretty spendy book. One that I actually won from Dave. I actually got a couple copies of this, but I won that one from David Bueller when he had his own auction. We got Stray Dogs number 1, which definitely has a book that just popped here recently. We got Daredevil number 10, the first appearance of Echo. And I'll be selling 9 and 10 together. And then we have issue 168 of Daredevil, which, of course, you guys know that one. That's the first appearance of Elektra. And just to make sure that I don't drop anything, I'm going to take these down here.
Playing it safe?
It's playing it safe. You guys, Teen Titans number 12, you guys will recognize this, the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs.
Is that the one you got at the con?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, and near mint copy, and very happy on that one, but definitely it'll be up for auction next week.
Nice. All right. Good job not dropping your books. Okay, I got my final 5 here. Let's go for this one. This is, I think it's we only find them when they're dead, number 10. Mm-hmm. They just keep sending me this stuff. I don't know why. It's random. Well, there you go. It's a pretty cool cover. Mm-hmm. This is 7 Secrets. Mm-hmm. I don't know what number it is. I think number 13 or 14. Something. There you go.
Another one they keep sending you.
Yeah. Here, I thought this cover was really cool. I don't normally pick up this book, but since it's just an homage to the original Thor.
Journey into Mystery.
Yeah, I had to get it. So number 21 of Thor. There you go.
Very cool.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. Sometimes I feel bad because my pull list is so small right now. When I go to literally I spent $10 this week at the shop.
Yeah,
that was all my pull list. So sometimes I feel a little guilty and try to buy a few other things. So.
Right.
Gunslinger Spawn came out this past week. Really like that cover right there, number 4, I believe. And of course, Bob picked this up for me because my shop didn't get any extra copies. Really love this book, Cursed Pirate Girl. Number 1. Love this book. The artwork is just fantastic. It's not a comic book. I mean, it is a comic book, but it's not. It's more than a comic book.
Yeah.
The art in there is, it's off the charts. It's not it's not comic book art, it's fantasy art like you would see like on a painting and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's just amazing. So
Highly detailed.
Wanted to get a copy of it. I don't know if it's a one shot or something like that.
It's actually part 2 in a series.
Yeah.
And the last part came out like 5 years ago because that's how long it takes the guy to,
He's got the artist and the writer, the same guy. He's got an Instagram. His name's on here, right?
Yeah,
right? We
Jeremy Bastian.
Jeremy Bastian. Check out his Instagram. I was looking at it last night, and it's just got tremendous. I'd love to get a chance to talk to this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And just see where his mind goes when he's drawing these masterpiece artwork and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And this is one of those that you don't have to have the first book to hop into on the first.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand it anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Right. On the inside cover, it kind of gives you a synopsis of what happened previously, so you can hop right into this book. But it's still you're not going to understand.
Yeah, I didn't buy it for the words.
Yeah, I know.
I bought it for the pictures.
For sure.
And if anyone has this book and opens it up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
So, anyway, that's our final 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. 10% into the code Bueller. Buy some books from Bird City Comics and some exclusives as well. And honestly, I got to tell you guys, people have been sending me pictures because they're getting the slabs back finally of the Moon Knights and stuff, the 9.8s or whatnot. And apparently that book is spiking right now because of the Moon Knight and because of the character we used on the cover. The Khonshu character?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the one we did, that book is actually spiking and selling for quite a bit more than what we were selling it for when it came out. So,
nice.
And if you're still looking for it, I think they still have them on the website, and you can use the code Bueller and save 10%. But yeah, that book is going up in value right now. So
nice.
we were the only ones that used that character out of the whole series,
and
so that's why it's kind of hitting. So it's the one to get. So.
Interesting. Very cool.
You know what? That's about it.
Another issue in the bucket.
Yeah, issue in the bucket. I do want to say who the winner is for the coffee from the Comics on Coffee. Our winner is Scotty Mack.
Scotty Mack.
You win a bag of coffee. All you gotta do is send me an email with your information. Do me a favor, go check out their website, Comics on Coffee. Pick out the flavor you want, and then send me an email. Tell me the flavor, then tell me your address and stuff, and I'll forward that to them, and they'll send you out a bag of coffee. So there you go. Every week we give away a bag of coffee courtesy of Comics on Coffee. And like I said, they got that new one, that Star Killer K-Pods or whatnot.
Right.
You can get that one too. So, and it comes with a free digital book and bonus. I don't know what the bonuses are.
I don't either. But comics and coffee.
But even the box, like the box that comes in, has the Star Killer thing on the front of the box. So it's pretty cool. Anyway,
it is cool.
Yeah, they're sending me a box. So I'm looking forward to trying it out and stuff. But they got a new blend coming out. I keep mentioning this. I've seen the rough draft, and I've actually tasted it, and it got my approval.
Just all jacked up.
I don't know.
That's how you put it. We're going to be all jacked
it's
up.
All jacked up, man. We're all jiggity jacked up.
All right.
It's like coffee jolt version or whatever.
Right. Sounds good to me.
But anyway, this was episode 149. Obviously, that means there's one left, and that's next week, and
that'll be bittersweet.
The question for next week, I'll let you guys know on the preview video like we normally do, but the question is, what is some of your fondness or favorite moments of the Coffee and Comic Show? Obviously, 150 episodes. A lot of you guys have watched every one of them. Some of you just watched a few of them. And but we've got many comments over the last few years about this show, and we want to hear from you what some of your favorite memories were of the show, and it'll actually probably jog our memories as well.
Yeah. Walk us down memory lane.
Yeah, so please leave a comment. You can actually leave a comment on this video about it as well, and I'll try to filter them and put them in the next week or whatnot and post them. But, I've been going through my mind thinking of moments, and stuff, and there's quite a few. I mean, people have asked me, you should put together a highlight reel. It'd be almost impossible because there's so many hours and so many times that we just cracked up laughing. I wouldn't even know where to find them.
Yeah. And
there's so many hours that were on the cutting room floor that you guys never even saw.
Oh, I'm so glad though.
There's probably another 50 episodes that you guys never saw.
Yeah,
of footage. And it was just having a fantastic time. And, where to start. So, but yeah, please tune in next week for the final show. And join us if you can in the morning for the premiere at 5 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be in the chat. I'm hoping Bob can make it.
I'm gonna talk with my boss to make sure that I can.
It'd be very, very cool for him to have him in the final chat. He does work, so I mean we gotta get around that. I told him to quit his job, but he just won't listen to me. I get it, so that's all right.
Yeah.
But and also don't forget about the auction on Friday and Saturday of this weekend with Bob's stuff, and we'll probably do it again as well, maybe the following week after that too, depending on how much money that his wife wants.
Needs.
Sure. There's a difference.
There you go.
But Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
Come on here and answering these questions. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. We always love doing the Q&As and a lot of really great questions again. And I really don't feel as though we were repeating a lot of stuff.
No, this was really good. There was a lot of creative questions.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. So like I said, we got all the questions up until Saturday morning. So if you put a question on the video after that, they weren't on the list.
Yeah.
So. And I know that people do put stuff out afterwards. So I'll try to go and personally answer those myself.
Sure.
In the comments and do that. So I think that's about it. It's a long show, but the last 2 weeks have been kind of a shorter shows. Mm-hmm. So we kind of wrapped it up pretty quick because it was the last 2 weeks were actually the same show back to back.
Back to back, right?
We just didn't tell you that.
It's hard coming up with topics, man.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll still do topics here and there. But like I said, this is the last show on this set, and we're going to tear this down this weekend. Then next week's show will be at the original table that we were very first at. We're going to very first introduce Bob to you guys, and that will be it. That will be the end of the brand new comics or coffee and comic show.
Yeah, like I said, it'll be bittersweet.
Yeah, it will be, but it's been a fun ride.
It really has.
So
it really has.
All right, Bob, you want to take us out?
Sure thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We will see you next time. Bye.